Closing tools. Now, this closing tool is mainly to help you determine if the second person is going to be involved in making a decision, or if he is or if he's not, what type of involvement do they have within making a decision. Now, this situation is usually when there's two clients in the office. Client number one is the one making the decision, the one that's looking for insurance. Client number two is the one that's helping client number one make a decision. Now, it's very important for you to understand that you have to have a clear picture of who's making the decision, who's getting involved, and what type of involvement does the second person have. Simply because if you don't address the information to both, and both of them are going to make a decision, then you're only closing half of the deal. You're not closing both of them, which means you may have some issues towards the end. So within the conversation, it's important for you to determine what type of involvement the second person is going to have. Now, you could simply just ask them, are you going to be helping client A within his monthly payment? Are you going to be helping him make his monthly payment? Are you going to be involved financially every single month? Now, if they say no, then at least you know that the monthly payment is strictly going to come out of client A's pocket. Now, you're also going to ask them, are you going to be helping them with the initial payment today? Are you going to be helping them make a payment today? If they say yes, then you know you need to keep in mind that both of them are going to be making a decision together, meaning both of them are going to be making a payment. Now, if they say no, then you just have to keep in mind that you may still have to address a little bit of information towards client B, but your main focus is going to be having client A or the first client understand that the decision is going to fall back on him or her. That simply whatever decision they make, it's only going to benefit them or affect them simply because the second person is not going to help them financially. So that means if they leave without insurance, you're simply going to tell them, look, your friend is not going to help you with $1,000 to take care of the situation. You get involved in an accident and your license is suspended, your friend is not going to help you get your license back. Matter of fact, he's not going to help you pay for the fees or pay for the losses. So even though they're advising you not to leave with insurance or advising you to leave without insurance, the decision is only your decision. So you're going to persuade them based on that, and you're not necessarily going to put them against each other, but you're going to have client A understand that even though client B is advising them to leave without insurance, they're not going to help them financially, so their advice is not the best advice. And you're going to use, obviously, your professionalism, your professional advice, your personal advice, and you're going to recommend them to leave with insurance simply because if something happens, they're the ones that are going to be responsible. Also, another thing that you could also do is you could also ask the second person a few questions to set them up to help client A or the first client make a decision. So simply you could tell them, look, what would you do if you're in a situation where you get pulled over and you had an option of getting insurance before? Do you think you would have gotten insurance, or do you think you would have been taking a risk? Or what would you rather do? Would you rather pay a couple $100 for insurance, or would you rather pay a couple $1,000 to cover an accident? Or if you had an option of leaving with insurance to eliminate the risk, would you leave with insurance if it was your decision, if this was your policy, or would you leave taking a risk knowing that you could pay money out of pocket? So all of these questions are designed for them to say, no, I will leave with insurance. So regardless of their advice in the future, or regardless of the advice that they're giving the client A at that moment, especially if it's to leave without insurance, they're going to contradict their advice because they're telling us, both of us, client one and also myself or yourself, that they would leave with insurance because they don't want to take a risk. But if they're telling the first client to shop around because they could simply find something cheaper, then you're going to use this closing tool to let client one understand, look, he would leave with insurance. He just told us if this is his situation, he would obviously leave with insurance because he doesn't want to take a risk. So therefore, you should do the same thing. You should leave with insurance. Now, don't get me wrong. Whatever advice he's giving you, fantastic. But he just told me that if this is his situation, he will leave with insurance simply because he understands how critical it is. Now, I would advise you to leave with insurance as well. So this closing tool is mainly to determine what type of involvement the second party has within the decision making, and also to ask them a couple questions that are designed to determine what